everyone, welcome back to another Wwenxt and another edition of NXT Out of 10. And yeah, big episode today. Of course, we're only a few weeks away from Vengeance Day now, so yeah, there's lots going on. We've got some of the semi-finals of the Dusty Classic kicking us off. We've got contract signing here, the women's title match, and multiple other big matches on the card as well. But we start things off with the semis of the Dusty Classic. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Fraser and Axiom, and Corbin and Breaker look closer than they ever have. Wrestling is a tight yeah, they needed to be destroyed to take down Fraser and Axiom, and they did just that, finishing with a breaker spear to Fraser. NXT may have peaked opening early here with a phenomenal opener. The styles of these four men blended perfectly. The babyfaces fought from underneath, finding the smallest avenues for success against overwhelming force. The crowd went wild for the match, especially late on when Axiom kicked out of multiple repeat big moves from the heels. While it never quite felt like the underdogs could win, they delivered a strong performance against top competition. Breaker and Corbin are meshing well as a tag team, where their build-up has been rushed into Dusty Classic. NXT may have struck gold on the pairing for these two. They will make each other more interesting and more likely to win the tournament. So yeah, like I said, this was really strong on the whole and gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Before it's time for Lash Legend versus Ren Sinclair. Ren ducked the power moves of Lash and tried to take a roll-up win. However, Lash was too much for her, planting her with a slam dunk. Afterwards, Henley run out to save Sinclair from a metaphor beatdown. It's basically a squash match. Sinclair barely got any offense in before attempting some roll-ups. Never really looked like a serious challenge, but that kind of was the point. NXT is building up Legends as a threat, while Sinclair is starting out at the bottom. She has a leg up on the others due to her indie experience, but she'll need time to sell her character. Henley has been on an upswing in NXT, putting together with Sinclair might hold her back. She's going to be another budding star who should go top contender for the title. But yeah, I wasn't really convinced where this is going, to be honest. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, but let's just see where it goes. But anyway, moving on into Dijak versus Joe Gacy. Gacy attacked Dijak during his entrance knee, brawled through the area. Dijak sent Gacy through the stage and then onto the announce table. Gacy kept getting back up until the officials broke them up. Two talented wrestlers over the top personalities have finally clashed. It was an appropriate result and it's getting wild. Hard Justice was worked so many hardcore matches recently, so his next feud needs to be even bigger to stand out. Gacy looked great here as a resilient fighter who's just coming. He's the babyface but it was the aggressor throughout, and it's generally worked. To live up to this stat, the first match between Dijak and Gacy is going to need to have a wild stipulation. But moving on then to Lexis King versus Dre Bearhill. Bearhill walked in emotional and left heartbroken, falling decisively to King's coronation. This was hardly even a match as King completely ran through his rival. After all the build-up that sold Bearhill was a threat, he was punked out clean. This could mean that King is going to get some momentum, but NXT needs to give him a rival who can challenge him rather without giving him another loss. The best immediate answer would be a transition to feuding with Eddie Thorpe, giving Bearhill's growing friendship with him. But yeah, this gets a 5 out of 10 for me. I don't know, I still feel like this whole stuff with Lexis isn't really working too well at the moment, and yeah, it seems to see Trey Bearhill get squashed quite so easily, to be fair. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, not really one for me this. But anyway, Noah and Ori Mensah hosted Supernova sessions and also devices. She regretted turning on Elektra. La Madrina arrived to announce a match between the two next week before brawling with her former friend. This is another case of testing the waters with developing talent. Vice did not thrive in the spotlight, but she's finding her confidence. Lopez is more seasoned as a talker, which helped elevate the rivalry. Turning Vice and Lopez against each other made sense for the right moment, but this has been rushed. The two teams never truly established themselves as a tag team. This at least distracted Vice from interfering in Valkyria's business for a moment. Maybe Lopez will be the one to unlock Vice's full potential. More likely this will be a short rivalry that solidifies Vice as the most important of the two, which I think, yeah, makes sense. But moving on into Dragon Lee versus Scripps. Tony D, Stax and Rizzo came out to brawl with Price, Nima and Parker. The distraction allowed Dragon Lee to hit the Destination Dragon for the win. Obafemi watched the match from ringside and agreed to face Dragon at Vengeance Day. The match should have had me more energy, and it did have moments of greatness. For the most part, though, it was pretty solid. The action outside was unnecessary, as Luchador should have been able to win clear. Instead, his victory kind of was overshadowed. Still, in the goal of Dragon versus Femi is going to be a good one at Vengeance Day. And I thought, for what we saw of the match, which wasn't really too much of it, I thought it was still pretty exciting, to be fair. So I'm going to give it let's say a 7 out of 10. I think, yeah, just about creeps into that bracket. But moving on then to Blair Davenport versus Carmen Petrovic. Petrovic showed a scrappy fire against Davenport, but once the Iron Survivor caught her, it was a quick finish thanks to a short arm knee strike. Davenport should be presented as the dominant force in the women's division, but Petrovic instead was the aggressor through much of this short encounter. As a squash, this made the heel look weak and showed Petrovic's inexperience. NXT is investing significant time into Petrovic, and she hasn't proved worthy yet. She did not make necessary fluidity to make her striking focused offense shine. This is another step to the side for Davenport, who seems lost after Iron's surviving victory was dismissed following a New Year's Eve loss. Hopefully there are more plans for her rivalry with Nikita Lyons soon, because at the moment it just doesn't really feel like we're going very far, to be fair. So 6 out of 10 from me. But moving on then to Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs. Ilya Dragunov watched this closely from ringside. Josh Briggs accidentally blasted the Mad Dragon with a big boot. Trick hit Briggs with a discus boot and then rolled him up for the ring. For the win. Dragunov tried to attack Briggs before the end of the match, but Carmelo knocked him down. Afterwards, Briggs blasted Trick with a clothesline. Officials barely held the Mad Dragon back from him attacking everyone. Briggs has shown time and time again he's a good big round wrestler, and he drove the pace of the match throughout. It was a good sprint, even in the aftermath, that mattered most. The chaos in the main event scene is fascinating. There are multiple moving pieces, and NXT planned a big swerve when the time is right. It's likely Hayes will turn on his friend, but he could find some new pals like Briggs at his side. Whatever happens, Trick is such a hot star at the moment, everything matters. Even with the odd reach, Holland detour, this angle is NXT's most important at the moment. And it gets 7 out of 10 from me. Like I say, really effective, and I love the way it's all going. I presume it's all going to build up to a crescendo at Vengeance Day. The new NXT General Manager Ava facilitated the contract signing between Valkyria and Roxanne Perez for the last segment. She kept things civil after the two competitors almost got heated and two signed paperwork and shook hands. Afterwards, Paxley sent an apology through the announce table. Valkyria knocked down and chased Paxley for her actions. The content of this signing was solid, though the execution was missed. Perez and Valkyria are still not fully confident on the mic. Both stumbled over their words slightly. Ava has got some ways to go to kind of establish herself as an authority figure. But I think the story's clear, and the match, for me, probably the two best in NXT at the moment, is going to be great. Paxley's involvement also has an interesting little subplot, and Valkyria could turn heel, who knows, but we'll find out at Vengeance Day. And overall, NXT this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought an interesting show, not one that really probably going to live long in the memory, but I thought for what it was decent enough. Still some interesting build going into Vengeance Day, especially with the NXT title, so that's good. I'm intrigued to see the new GM. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.